All right, I'm back at the PIR Speed Tour talking to our 2023 Western Championship winner, Brody Goble. But it's funny, he won the 2023 championship, did all the races, then disappeared in 2024, except as a crew and to help out with Michael LePaglia, who won last year. But he's back in full force, our points leader. Now, Brody from Vancouver, BC, Canada, how do you explain the Western Championship? I know you've raced all over, you have all kinds of experience, but how do you explain this championship to your friends?
Yeah, of course you want to race, west to east and everything in between. But for us, being up in Vancouver, Canada, it's always been challenging just geographically to get back east. And I definitely have a lot of bucket list tracks back there. That's always been my goal, is to get back racing in the east a little bit more than what we have done. But I'm pretty proud of our west group. I ran 23 as my first season, in Trans Am period. So we obviously ran the West Coast stuff because it's closer home for us. And from 23 up until now, we have really tightened the gap between the national guys. And I feel like when we do go run against the national guys, I know the last race is at Laguna Seca. And there's, I technically stood second on the national overall podium there in that race. And we had other West guys right with me, right behind me. So I know that gap's closing. And I don't really want to look at it anymore as hey, this is the feeder to the national series. It truly is Western Series and the national guys, and we both have competitive drivers in both, and if you can win in the West Series, I would hope that you could win in the national series. So we're getting closer. There's certainly been a gap previously, but yeah, as we keep pushing towards it, the fields are tightening. So.
And it's getting a little bit more competitive. When I started with the Western Championship, one of the things that I loved, and we were talking about this earlier, people would show up in short trailers, pickup truck, short trailer, and we still have a lot of drivers like Kyle Kelly, who's very fast, but he's, kind of more of like a privateer. But look behind you, we've got Nitro Motorsports, we've got this huge Tim Lynn and the JM Racing crew. It's a full-on, it looks a lot more of a professional series than it did just 3-4 years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. And even for us, too, is, we've gone everything from little pickup trucks and flat deck trailers to go racing in the past. And, we have a nice rig now and stuff, and I run for the Brown Bros Ford racing team. But, you got Nitro, and we have Scott Legacy with M1 and SLR, and they're sending, Alex Brennan out this weekend to help us out, and I'm on the phone with Scotty after every session, and so we do have some of that national knowledge that's getting passed down to these teams. I know LePaglia, he's on the Howe chassis, Chaz is here, so all three brands are very well represented and supported in the West races, and everyone's taking it serious. They want to beat each other, whether it be here or back east, it's all the same to them, so it's cool.
Nice. I love it. Well, the Western Championship of the Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series getting more and more competitive. And I've said this before publicly, but I actually favor the Western Championship. I just like the attitude in the paddock. Everybody likes to help each other out. It's just a little bit more fun and still the elements of privateer racing here. But, man, this is cutthroat. And right now, our 2023 champion and our points leader. But we've seen it all go wrong at the start here at Portland. So what's your strategy?
Yeah, it's gone wrong for me here in the past as well, right? So it's hard to do any of these strategies for race starts. I've been racing for over 20 years myself now, and I've kind of stopped thinking about that stuff. You got to be in the moment, and there's no planning for a race start. So I don't get too worked up about them. We just trust that we've done enough practice and preparation, and the car is what it is, and just try to get through clean. Hopefully we can start up front, obviously, and not like we had to start at the back at Sonoma there. So this will be easier to start at the front, and yeah, we'll just deal with it as it comes. That's all you can do, really. So.
Nice. Deal with it as it comes. That's a little bit of the Western Championship with the Trans Am Series presented by Pirelli. Stay tuned.
Rev up and get ready for race day with Mission Foods. The world's best racers and tastiest products come together to make every race delicious. Fully loaded tacos, fast wraps, piled high nachos. Whatever you crave, Mission will help you be race ready with easy-to-make recipes that will take your race day to the finish line. Keep your racing delicious and enjoy all the mouth-watering action. Brought to you by Mission Foods. Too fast, too tasty.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Portland International Raceway, just outside of downtown Portland, in the shadows of Mount Hood, not far off the banks of the Columbia River. Ralph Shaheen, Ben Sissel with you. And Ben, I know right now you are like a kid in a candy store. You are just vibrating, ready for this one to go.
Group 8, we've got the Hoosier 2.5 Challenge coming up tomorrow. A lot of these cars are going to be in there. Our race director, Matt Rose, is out there in the blue and orange number 6 BMW in last, so look for him to move up through. But this is Porsches, Datsun 510s, BMW 2002s. There's a Devon out there with Steve Yarborough. Love coming to Portland. We can see Mount Hood just over there in the distance, so this is a beautiful weekend here, and Group 8 is about to go for the Sports Car Vintage Racing Association here at Portland.
Here we go, out onto the front straightaway. Now the flag stand, as you can see, pretty far down the straightaway, so it will be a bit of a wait for the green flag. There it is, and we're racing.
Jeff Mosing and Armin Gorbani out front, Ralph.
Headed down to the Shelton chicane. Hard on the brakes, starting right about here. Turning in, there it is. It's turns 1, 2, and 3.
Gosh,
Here's
that's
2. And then it gets tight again here at 3, and you re-enter out onto that front straightaway bend, in the second half of which gets narrower as you head down to turn 4.
It sure does. That's such a tough to start the race once you get into the groove, but when all the cars go in there to the accordion into 1, 2, 3, the Shelton chicane, it does get really hairy. But Jeff Mosing followed by Armin Gorbani, and then Malkassian right behind him. I got to give a big shout out to my friend Phil Hartstein. Miller turning 11 and his wife Julie both celebrating birthdays, watching from North Carolina with us, Ralph. So thanks for joining in.
Nice.
Phil Hartstein out there, started out in 7th in the purple and white Datsun 510. There's the 85, the Datsun of John Murray, the Datsun 1200. Wanted to run in Group, that's usually a Group 3 car, but wanted to run in Group 8. And then last year's champion in the Hoosier 2.5 Challenge, Brian O'Shaughnessy, just flying in that roundy taillights BMW.
That's a quick car.
It is a quick car.
We've seen him throughout the course of the year, and ran with his Sonoma, I believe it was.
Yep. Sonoma and Laguna.
Sonoma and Laguna,
Gaudio in that Porsche 912, the number 13.
I like that 240Z of Rob Bellevue in 79. He's off to a pretty good start. He's first in class.
Yep. Josh Moriarty in 4th now, started 3rd, but one of the most pristine cars out there, that Datsun 510. Just an absolutely beautiful car. Hope you get to see these things up close. And that E30 M3, just a beautiful car. Oh, yeah, so Jay Hazel has joined us in the chats, and they're rooting for Phil Hartstein. That's them we were talking about, watching from North Carolina. So thanks for joining us. There's your favorite car right there, Ralph.
Now, where are they in the Tar Heel State?
I'm not sure. That's your home state, right?
Yeah, that's why I was asking.
Yeah, where are you guys?
If they're close, maybe they'll buy me dinner one day.
Maybe. If you speak well of Phil. There's Steve Walker. Steve and Mary weren't with us when you were with us earlier. They were doing a trip through New Zealand, so welcome back. And look at this, Moriarty, Malkassian going side by side. Oh, Ralph, it's getting scary up here.
Really, some good racing with these guys always. Presentation of the cars is great. They're all in tip-top condition. The liveries are outstanding. Quality of the racing is very good as we head to the Shelton chicane, also known as 79Z of Bellevue. And he's going to go 3 wide through here with them. Whew. That got a little narrow.
Yeah, it gets really narrow very fast there, and then the cars are so off balance. There's so many corners here. You know, on a piece of paper, the track looks pretty simple. There's no elevation changes, but in practice, almost every corner is designed to just throw the car off balance, as you see right here with Ara and Brian O'Shaughnessy. A pretty good friendly rivalry here between these two.
And this corner right here, 7, slowest corner on the racetrack, the biggest nightmare, Ben, to get it right.
Yeah, because if you don't get it right, this is a long back straightaway. So you're going to be scrubbing off just a ton of speed. And then this 10, 11, 12, the left-hander to the right-hander to the harder right-hander, the decreasing radius, just a very difficult track. There's Armin Gorbani. I got to give a shout-out. We were talking about this at Laguna Sonoma, that Armin's back with us. So great to see him with the whole family. Keon is here. Armin's wife is here, and it was so great to see them. I know you guys have really gone through it, but it really does mean a lot to see you guys here this weekend with us. But Jeff Mosing out front. Now Holly, who gave our start command there for Trans Am, she put another one of those Speed Secret stickers on the back of his car, and he's really using it right now. So Moriarty in third.
She's all of, what, 7?
I think so, yeah.
As I said when she gave the command earlier today, she's obviously too young to work a 40-hour week, but any company would be smart to hire her right now as a PR person.
So look at this, Armin Gorbani getting some pressure from Moriarty, and then there's Tim Probert in what he calls penny, because it looks like a copper penny, just a beautiful car.
And that is a quick race car.
Yeah.
He's always near the front.
And I think it's a gold medallion car as well. But look at this. Moriarty trying to give it to Gorbani there.
Down the backside of the racetrack through the shadows. In and out of the sunlight. And hoping your eyes focus back in before you have to find the next apex or brake marker.
These are great cars to see how off balance they are, you know, just because they're kind of high up, production built cars. And you can really see who has the suspension set up correctly as we see Mosing coming down, leading the field. Brian O'Shaughnessy's out there. His son, Zhang O'Shaughnessy, is here. Had to drive all the way from Ventura because he forgot about that whole Real ID thing when he tried to fly here. How funny is that?
His passport was outdated, right?
Yeah.
That's a problem.
Yeah. Ooh. Did you see that? Moriarty really got that car to rotate there at 6.
You know, Ben, there are race cars out there that just put fear into you when you see them because you know at any moment total disaster can happen, right? Like a nitro burning dragster or a World of Outlaw sprint car. You know you're on edge the entire time watching them. These cars bring a smile, I think, to the face of every race fan there. Everybody sees these cars roll out and they're like, oh, these are cool, you know?
And just about everybody talking to these drivers, they come to them with a, oh, you know, my mom used to take me to the grocery store in a Datsun 510 or BMW 2002.
It's Dad's daily driver.
Yeah. And then there goes Devin of Steve Yarborough, who's going to be out there 3 different times. I just saw he and Sherm Johnston go across the line in the Formula Ford race before this race at the same time. So that was cool to see.
And he's got his big Corvette here as well. Yeah.
There's Mark Rincon in that. And then Patrick M.G., who was the first person I've known to sing the national anthem, get right into a race car and race. Remember that at Sonoma. He sang the opening national anthem for us and then got right into the race car and race. I've always thought that was really cool. Haven't seen that before. Shaha and John Murray going at it. Michael Zupko in that Porsche 911. There's Matt Rose, Thunder Rose in that BMW 2002 with Ronin Auto Works out of Fullerton, California. Matt Rose, that's our race director there in that BMW 2002 with kind of the Gulf livery. He owns a Ronin Auto Works in Fullerton. They do a lot of race cars, but also BMWs, Mini Coopers, things like that.
Tevin on the inside, boy, it's going to get tight there, fellas.
Woo!
Did you see that thing slide?
Yeah.
Yarborough really working the rear end of that Devon. That's all fiberglass too, so you got to be a little careful with the body on that one.
Yeah. He definitely has an aero advantage over those bubble top 2002s of Matt Rose there. But look at that, Matt Rose coming in under braking, trying to get on the inside.
Oh, baby! Yarborough did the wise thing. He gave him plenty of room. That was one of those not there, not there, not there, there moments, right?
Yeah. Yeah. It made me pucker here in the booth.
Yeah. Look at Yarborough way to the inside there.
He does have a bigger motor than these 2 liters and 2.5 liter engines. The Datsuns, I've heard, the best combination for these 510 race cars is the 1800.
And why is that?
I'm not sure. They just think that that's the best engine and balance is from a lot of these guys are running the 1800. Jay Hazel saying that she can't watch the fight with O'Shaughnessy. And they're from Greensboro.
Oh, Greensboro, right up the road from where I am in Mooresville. About an hour.
Thunder Rose just going at it there. I think he likes that little over-under thing at turn 7. Thunder Rose, Matt Rose, started from the back and is now in 18th position, I believe. Not bad. Here come, should be the leaders. Should be Jeff Mosing. No, this is mid-pack. There's John Murray in that Datsun 1200. Kevin Shaha there in the 510. There's Patrick. I do like the look of this 240 here.
Yeah, that's a great one as well.
Izzy Lipitz. 260Z. We've got a safety car standing up. We've got a car. Oh, Armin Gorbani off at 3. He was in second place, and now he's going to fall back. So we're going full course caution. Pace car went out there as Armin Gorbani. Totally unfortunate. And then you can see that Porsche is smoking there from the back. That is obviously a rear engine Porsche, but I'm seeing smoke.
All right, while they get the field all sorted out, take care of the incident on the track, we will take a quick break here, but we'll be right back for more great racing action from Portland.
In racing, every second counts. Communication isn't just important, it's everything. Established in 1996 in Daytona Beach, Florida, Speedcom Communications was born from a passion for racing and a vision to revolutionize motorsports communication. Trusted by competitors across the world.
Okay, so pretend this is your race car. It's on the trailer, and you have an accident. Ouch! At least your truck's insurance will pay for another one? Yeah, not so fast. Standard insurance won't replace your race car, whether it's in the trailer, in the paddock, in the garage, or the repair shop. But at Hagerty, we can protect it for what it's really worth anytime it's off the track. No matter what or where you race, all for less than a set of race tires. Hagerty, let's drive together.
good is this? Look at this view from Losowski.
It brings all my fans, it brings the audience into the car with me.
Speed turn 140 mile an hour entry speeds.
The quickest and most efficient way for me to get information to my drivers is from using the V-Box HD2 system.
Architecture is about everything. We change the environment. We are changing how people live in the environment today. So we basically put our fingerprint on the future of what the United States looks like. My overall business philosophy is that I'm engaged with my company from top to bottom, and I think the racing world and helping out the next generation and younger drivers is a passion of mine, and is getting stronger and stronger every year. With that, that's why I want to be involved.
We are back here at Portland International Raceway, the field forming up behind the pace car. We have a few laps left to go here, Ben, so we should have a pretty good run to the checkers.
We should. I'll go through the grid real quick as it shows up in timing and scoring. Jeff Mosing out front. Josh Moriarty in second. Brian O'Shaughnessy in third. And remember, last year's Hoosier 2-5 Challenge champion. The previous year before that, Armin Gorbani was the champion, but he is now out of the race, unfortunately. Then Ara Malkassian in fourth. Rob Bellevue in fifth. Phil Hartstein in sixth. Zhang O'Shaughnessy seventh. Paul Gaudio eighth. Tony Delane ninth. Daniel Wu, the Daniel Wu, the movie star, in 10th in the number 74. Steve Gilmore in 11th. Hans Gutmann in the Volvo 142 in 12th. Steve Walker 13th. Rainer Wolf in 14th. John Murray 15th. Matt Thunder Rose in 16th. Kevin Shaha 17th. Patrick MG in 18th. Steve Yarborough 19th. Izzy Lippitz 20th. Michael Zupko 21st. Mark Francis 22nd. Tim Probert 23rd. That's odd for Tim Probert. Something must have happened. Edmund Germain in 24th. Mark Rincon 25th. And then Armin Gorbani is 26th. So Rob Bellevue and the Porsche really stick out in this group of kind of bubble top family sedans.
Yeah, they sure do.
Isn't it so funny we talk about this, but these were mid-sized cars in the 70s, and now they would be ultra-compact cars now.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful car.
Yeah, they were truly family cars of the day, weren't they? 4 and 5 person families.
Yeah.
The kids in the back.
Paul Gaudio in that beautiful Porsche 912. Mark Francis in the BMW E30 M3. Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm hearing from Race Control that we are going to have to go checker because of some cleanup out there as they come by. That is a huge shame. But we've got more racing tomorrow with Group 8, and we also have the Hoosier 2-5 Challenge. So the Hartstein family, Miller and Julie, happy birthday. I hope you guys tune in tomorrow, but it looks like Phil is going to finish 6th place.
Well, you have to save some of that energy for that 2-5 Challenge tomorrow anyway.
That's always fun racing.
Yes. Here's the checkered flag waving as the field makes its way down a long front straightaway here.
It looks like Moriarty tried to pat. Jeff Mosing was going back and forth, and Moriarty almost went over the checker, the finish line first, and I don't know what we would have done there.
Kind of a Ford versus Ferrari finish. What a shame that was, right?
Yeah, look at this beautiful field of cars.
I mean, they really do a great job, Ben. I mean, that's one thing about vintage racing is most owners, take great pride in their cars and not just making them run mechanically well, but the presentation of the car, the liveries and all that. But these guys in this category, I think, are some of the best at really making their cars look sharp.
Yeah, like this car here with Steve Walker. That car is a tribute car to actually a privateer that raced in the B Sedan series or the Trans Am series, and I love that because usually you make a tribute car to like a John Morton or a BRE car or something like that, but he's doing it to a privateer that he loved to watch when he was growing up at Road America.
Which is great. Keeping the history alive.
Yeah, these cars in the Hoosier 2.5 Challenge are set up as they were in Trans Am, but there's your results.
Mosing, Moriarty, O'Shaughnessy, Keisian, and Bellevue in the Z, all in the top 5.
And then you got to mention Phil Hartstein. His whole family's watching.
Well, we're going to take a short break here while they wrap this up and get these cars off the track. But we got another great race coming your way. Group 7, 9, 11, and PSSA. Up next here at Portland International Raceway when we return.
And get ready for race day with Mission Foods. The world's best racers and tastiest products come together to make every race delicious. Fully loaded tacos, fast wraps, piled high nachos. Whatever you crave, Mission will help you be race ready with easy to make recipes that will take your race day to the finish line. Keep your racing delicious and enjoy all the mouth-watering action. Brought to you by Mission Foods. Too fast, too tasty.
All right, so now I am with our 2024 champion who just pretty much dominated all last year in the Western Championship, Michael LePaglia with Papini's Garage, always one of the most well-put-together cars, always looks really good in the paddock. But, Michael, running for a championship and being runner-up in 2023, winning the championship in 2024, how do you describe the Western Championship like as opposed to the National Championship?
Well, it's completely different. We get a lot of green flag laps on the Western Championship. You know, the car count might be anywhere from as low as 14 to as high as 25, 30. But for whatever reason, we get a lot of green flag laps, which is great. You know, we've been to a couple of national races like Sonoma this year where there's just a lot of caution. So the competition's good up front. I always feel like there's, 4 or 5 cars that can win the race, which makes it super competitive. You've got Brody Goble, Barry Bose, Tim Carroll. Last year we had Tim Barber, who was super fast. So, it's really competitive. We've all raced with a lot of respect with each other. We try to keep the cars together and get it to the finish line. But, I don't know if it's better or worse, but it's good racing.
It is very good racing. But you came actually from the SGT side of it, ran a road car that looked just like this. And then you've had now a few Howe chassis TA2 cars. This is beginning of the season. This was a brand new car. And could you feel the differences in your older chassis and going into the new car?
Yeah, it's funny because it's apples for apples, right? Chassis manufacturer, TA2 car. I describe it, it's like getting a brand new truck, right? You got 100,000 miles on your old pickup truck, you get a brand new truck. It might be the same, a couple more features here and there, but it just feels a little bit tighter, feels like a little bit more responsive, and all the parts, all the components on it are new. The chassis might not be totally different, but you really feel the tightness of all the new components, so we're really happy with it.
So, but also, Michael, I heard rumors that you pulled kind of a double duty this weekend. They always, Thursday nights here, they always have a huge motocross, thousands of fans. Were you out there?
Yeah, we came up last year. We obviously moved into the paddock on Thursday, so we went over because we heard they were having this motocross event. Little did we know, it's been going on for 59 years straight. It's like the summer motocross series. I've got a long background in motocross. That's my background. I didn't do go-karts. I didn't, race cars. I raced motocross. So last year, it was such this cool community event. I'm like, I'm bringing my dirt bike next year for sure. And sure enough, we did. And Ernie Becker from Trans Am joined me. He brought his dirt bike. And
he's right here. He just happens to be right here. So Ernie, who's kind of like a driver coach and helps out on the Trans Am staff, he had one of our competitors, I think JC Monet, brought your bike up here.
That is correct. Yeah, Michael talked me in to bring a bike up. I worked with Motocross Action Magazine. They provided me a bike. Came up, we had a lot of fun, and hey, it was a good, fun family event and a great way to enjoy Thursday night.
Yeah,
how'd you do?
I got second in what's called the 30-plus class because I'm 36, and then I raced the pro class, and I got second overall in that. I went 3-2, I think. So it was a pretty fun night. Not a whole lot of competition for us, but there was what do you think? Probably 50 different kids there racing, which is what you want to see, right? You want to see the youth coming in, but not a lot of fun. The track crew does a great job. Their promoter does a great, just puts on a great event. Like Ernie said, it's like this really cool community feeling, and it was just fun to be a part of it and fun to come back up here and race.
Michael LePaglia running for this year's championship, trying to go back-to-back with Papini's Garage in the Western Championship, so stay tuned.
Back here at Portland International Raceway, Ralph Shaheen and Ben Sissel with you. Getting ready for our next race of the day with our Sports Car Vintage Racing Association. This is Groups 7, 9, 11, and PSSA. A wide variety of race cars in this one, Ben.
Yeah, there is. There aren't any Group 7s out there. I'm not sure what happened there, but we've got Jim Davenport in a Group 11 Orica, Ron Fletcher in a Revolution 500 Evo in PS1 and PSSA, Leonard Hinojosa in a Revolution 500 Evo, Graham Wood in an SCCA ENT-FE2, then Bill Shields in a Group 9 March 722, James Webb in a Group 9 Boss Reynard IndyCar, and then Scott Olson in a Group 9 Reynard 92H. So we've got some high downforce, some open wheel, wings and slicks, a little bit of everything here. Those first three cars, there's a Group 11 car and then the PSSA cars there.
screen. You see the flag stand off to the right side of the screen. Green flag, and we're racing here at Portland. And the Orica starts to stretch out a little bit, that orange and black machine.
So only 5 cars take the start. This is really Ron Fletcher's only chance for Jim Davenport, because once the tires heat up in that Orica, he should be able to take off from these revolutions.
Yeah, you would think.
But Ron Fletcher is a very good driver. I'm not sure who that was that just went around. It looks like Wood around Hinojosa.
And I believe that James Webb did not make the call on the Reynard Indy car. I don't see that out there.
There's Hinojosa. There's Revolution Evo. There's the Orica of Davenport. Do you ever call any races that this car would have been in back in the day?
IMSA, quote-unquote, races over the years from a wide variety of racetracks and television networks.
Yeah. Basically just a reverse airplane. You know, just a ton of wings on it to keep that thing sucked to the ground.
Yeah.
There's Hinojosa again in that Revolution. Ron Fletcher, that's a different car than we've seen Ron Fletcher in. See, on my scoring, it says Ron Fletcher is going to be in a Revolution Evo, but that wing, I was told that the Evos have a flat wing, and he's not running a flat wing on that car. Maybe that's his backup car.
Yeah. I will say I've always tended to like the closed cockpit of the prototype machines a little bit more, like you're talking about that Orica. Whether it's a Porsche 956, 962, the Jaguars, Toyota Eagles, that's that type of look to the race car.
A pretty good PSSA battle, though. Even though it's just 2 cars, Fletcher and Hinojosa going after it. It looks like Hinojosa is in the Evo, which should have a little bit more power. But Ron Fletcher is very good in these revolutions.
Looks like the tires are up to temp on the Orica.
I'd say so. I'm going to try to text Jason and see what he's in.
Working their way through 4 and 5 through turn 6 here. That's 6. Head down this bend over to turn 7. Really got to slow the car down here. And get back on the power as quick as you
can. Ralph.
He's got a good run into one of the faster sections on the racetrack. 9-10 10, and now down to 11 and 12. Back out onto the front straightaway.
He's trying his best.
And Fletcher doing everything he can to break the draft on that long front straightaway.
Some great vantage points to watch from here at Portland, especially on a clear day.
Yeah, because it's so flat. If you find the right spot, you can see usually, like over here, 3, 4, 5 corners.
Yeah, you can probably see 60% of the track over there.
Yeah.
And then you can see Mount Hood, Mount St. Helens, a bunch of really cool scenery from the track. Long back straight that just has a little bit of a, it's called a banana straight, a little bit of a right-hand turn.
Yep. That section through 9 and 10 there really tests your bravery.
Yeah. So doing the same thing, just wiggling back and forth, trying to get out of the draft.
Yep. You been up to Mount St. Helens?
I have, yeah.
It's
I've not been up
interesting
to
to
the
go
top
see
of
what's
it.
missing.
Yeah, but it is really cool. We used to snowboard on Mount Hood a lot. We'd play shows in Portland and go snowboarding, and then the show wouldn't be that good because we'd be all sore. So there's Ron Fletcher out front of Hinojosa. It's been like this basically from the start, but that's the best race out there. Then we've got Woods and Shields. There's Woods. Wood is in a SCCA ENTFE2. Is that SCCA Entertainment? What is that?
Not sure.
And Shields is in a March 722. Beautiful car.
Yeah, let's stay on. You see that red march coming our way here, painted up in the livery of the old Gold Leaf Lotus.
And the Gold Leaf, that was kind of the start of sponsorships.
Yes,
in
it was.
motorsports. I actually think that I like the Gold Leaf more than the John Player Special. I know you're a big John Player Special, but I just kind of like the red, white, and gold. I don't know. Just the history of it, of like, you know, Graham Chapman's just kind of genius of like, oh, we can put some brands on here and help pay for the racing. I do like the John Player Special, but I don't know. I just kind of like that a little bit.
Great. There was something special about the black and gold of the John Player color scheme.
What do you think is the most famous livery? Like golf, that went through a bunch and was in Le Mans, you know, the movie, that was a huge one.
The most famous paint scheme of all. So that's what we're talking about?
Yeah.
So,
and you can leave us comments too if you have an idea or an opinion on this.
So the question becomes, do we, because you've got cars that are not sponsored and cars that are sponsored, right? If you're going to go with the non-logoed race car, I would say Ferrari red.
Yeah.
Right, a basic red Ferrari. As soon as you see the red, you know exactly what it is, no matter the body style, right?
I think Hinojosa might try to do something here at 10 and 11. He gets up there right. He seems like he's got a better run out of 7, but then just can't get to it.
if we're going to talk about logoed cars, yeah, I would think the Gulf livery would be very high on the list.
The Jeff Gordon DuPont.
The Jeff Gordon DuPont and the Earnhardt Goodwrench, along with Petty Blue.
Yeah, Petty, that's true.
Petty Blue would be way up there as well.
Herbie.
Herbie's
a pretty famous race car.
The Rothmans, anything Rothmans would be high on the list.
Cole Trickle here, maybe. The Hardee's car and the City Chevrolet car.
That's right.
So here it is. Watch this. Hinojosa, the second car, gets a great run out of 7, and they disappear out of our camera shot, looking like he's going to take him, and then he just somehow falls back. Now that looks like a fun car.
Sure does.
That car rotates really well. Okay, so there's Fletcher. So really needs to set himself up coming out of this corner 12, to try to run through down the straightaway.
There's a look at the festival curves, also known as the Shelton Chicane.
I think the camera operator is lifting the lift as he's shooting that. That's
pretty good.
Pretty nice. It's pretty nifty there, guys.
There's the Orica up front.
Now, when I think of Chris Dyson, who we see most every weekend, I think of him in an open top in
the BMW.
Like that. Yeah. Or I think it was a Riley and Scott.
They had the Riley and Scott.
Yeah. I don't really have an opinion on the open cockpit or the closed cockpit. I think I kind of like both of them.
I mean, I like the open cockpit when you're talking about an open wheel car, and I like an open cockpit on things like Can-Am. And I don't mind it on the prototypes. You know, so look in, still not going to go.
But could you imagine, like in that Orica, doing the 24-hour Le Mans in a rainstorm?
That'd be nasty.
Yeah. And you'd be watching the other guys with wipers, you know, being pretty jealous, I think.
See, I like the closed cockpit of like the 917, Ferrari 512, all that sort of stuff, right?
Devin's way ahead, 111.8. Hinojosa, he does get impatient.
Yep.
So we might see something here. What would you call that? Is there a motorsports version of a Hail Mary?
I think it's still a Hail Mary.
So Ron Fletcher out front in PSSA. Both of these cars are PS1 cars. By timing and scoring, it says that he's in a Evo, but with that reverse dihedral wing. Oh, but we've got Fast Ginger is saying he likes the Andretti Kmart cars. And then he also says that just the Lotus British Racing green and yellow. That is pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, anything to do with Mario is a big fan. I'm a big fan. So, yeah, those Kmart cars look good. But I think I would take one of his STP cars over that. Like, I don't know, the Bronner Hawk.
That was
69
like
Indy winner.
The Marlboro of Penske back in the day.
Yeah,
that was cool.
That was a great look too, right? And became so popular, especially in F1, that they could take the logos off and just leave the paint scheme on, and you still knew what it was.
Behind Ron Fletcher in PSSA. What does he have? Does he have anything? The time is running out. He knows the time is running out. They're very equally yoked somehow. This is his strong suit usually.
Oh, see ya.
Commentator's curse.
He stuck it up in there and went as hard as he could, and it just, traction didn't stay with him.
I think that's the second time we've seen that. That happened to us at Road America as well. He and Ron Fletcher were real close, and then I think there might be something in just getting kind of out of that draft, out of the air there. That has got a little low.
Boy, that's frustrating. He's going to come on the front straightaway and he's going to see him dipping into the chicane. And he'll know that's a gap he won't be able to make up in the handful of laps that are left. You know, Hoosier just pushing now.
Spectacular. You know, just because there's so much dust, it looks much worse than it really is. Whoa. Keeping up with Hinojosa now. I think the modern Red Bull, they've kind of stayed with the same livery, and now that's just kind of their thing.
Yeah, well, and winning, what, 7 championships almost, or what, how many is it? Between Max and Vettel, and they got to be 6 or 7 titles or
Yeah,
something
I
like
think
that.
so. How cool is it to see Scott Speed in our paddock sometimes working with Tristan McKee?
Oh, yeah. Well, the papaya orange of McLaren.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of great colors out there, but what obviously makes all of these color schemes and liveries famous is performance, right? None of us are talking about liveries on cars that finished dead last. These are all cars that were championship winners.
Jeff Gordon wasn't Jeff Gordon.
Right.
Or Richard Petty wasn't
The rainbow
Richard
thing
Petty.
wouldn't be that big of a deal. Buddy Sam Bass designed that. Rainbow scheme. There was one year in the late 90s, Sam had more than 3/4 of the Cup fields at Daytona for the 500 were liveries that he had designed.
That's amazing.
It's pretty impressive. And then what happened, and he was, just an illustrator, artist, come up with it out of his own mind, and teams would all pay him to do the designs. And what ended up happening is, as is always the case in racing, something else comes along. The teams found out they could design these things on computers, so they don't need to pay the artist guy anymore, and things change.
But do that. I mean, we haven't talked about a modern paint scheme on a NASCAR
And you
car.
probably won't. And one of the reasons for that, Ben, is that certainly in NASCAR these days, nobody runs one livery the entire year. I mean,
it's hard to keep up.
It's hard to get sponsorship dollars for that, right? So instead of having Lowe's or Home Depot or DuPont or whoever it was as your main sponsor for $20 million for the entire year, now you've got a series of $3, $4, $5 million sponsors that pick and choose a handful of races. And instead of using paint, they're just wrapped.
Yeah. So I'm hearing white flag next time by on the Orica of Devonport. There he is.
White flag is out and waving.
I can't imagine racing here and not doing that chicane. You must be, everybody,
Flying.
no matter what car you're in, you're at your top speed going into that break.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the old brainer.
Yes. Yep. Scary, scary Shields.
Okay, so here's where we get to. So see this number 6 here, Shields. If the Orca doesn't pass him before the start-finish line, he gets an extra lap. But
Yeah.
It looks like he sees it and he's letting him pass. Okay.
That'll be that.
Maybe he's like, I'm tired.
I'm done.
Go in.
Yeah. Tongue's out. Time to start thinking about dinner. You struggling for ice cream here? Not here. Yeah. Checker flag, yep. Oh. We did have strawberry shortcake, which was pretty outstanding. That was the weekend cheat. Oh. And our march is slowing, and stopping. Which means we're going to be a minute before we get the next race going, because you're going to have to get that car.
And those cars are not easy to pick up.
No.
So there's Hinojosa. Fletcher's about to take the checkered flag. Here come the 2 cars. Hinojosa coming down into 10, 11, 12. So it's a hard left at really high speeds, then a hard right, and then a decreasing radius turn, just basically designed to throw the cars off balance. But Fletcher takes the checkered flag.
Here's your results. Davenport, Fletcher, Hinojosa, Wood, and Bill Shields rounding out the field.
But ladies and gentlemen, Group 6, 10, and 12 is next with we've got some TA2 cars, we've got some Ford Mustangs, some Corvettes, maybe Ralph's favorite car of the weekend. We might see that. Some E-types. We've got some really cool cars coming up next. Group 6, 10, and 12 with SVRA, so stay tuned for that. Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We're going to go see some great commercials from our sponsors. I hope they don't show a Mission Foods commercial because it'll make me hungry, and I'm going to have to have Mexican tonight, but we might as well just to make me hungry.
Rev up and get ready for race day with Mission Foods. The world's best racers and tastiest products come together to make every race delicious. Fully loaded tacos, fast wraps, piled high nachos. Whatever you crave, Mission will help you be race ready with easy to make recipes that will take your race day to the finish line. Keep your racing delicious and enjoy all the mouth-watering action. Brought to you by Mission Foods. Too fast, too tasty.
Okay, so pretend this is your race car. It's on the trailer, and you have an accident. Ouch! At least your truck's insurance will pay for another one? Yeah, not so fast. Standard insurance won't replace your race car, whether it's in the trailer, in the paddock, in the garage, or the repair shop. But at Hagerty, we can protect it for what it's really worth anytime it's off the track. No matter what or where you race, offer less than a set of race tires. Hagerty, let's drive together.
What does it mean to be built with Summit? It means you're hitting the autocross, drag strip, road course, trail, dirt, or open road with confidence. Because built with Summit means you're using parts from the top names in performance. Priced to make your project affordable. And it's all backed by trusted tech expertise and blazing fast shipping. Summit Racing Equipment. Let's build it together. SummitRacing.com.
right, so Ben Sissel here, the Portland Speed Tour. This is such a fun event, but we're going to talk about the Trans Am Western Championship, and I thought no better person than somebody who competed in the National Championship at every race last year, every event here in the Western Championship. So, Barry, explain the Western Championship to anybody out there that may not be familiar.
Yeah, so the Western Championship, as was explained to me before I got into it, was that it was a little bit more grassroots. Right, people were showing up sometimes with their car on a trailer, right? Not necessarily the full professional support. These were incredibly good drivers, but maybe just didn't have the funding to run the national series. And so the West Coast Series was a place where they could go and be very, very competitive, right? With perhaps maybe some hand-me-down equipment. I decided I was going to run in the West Coast Championship for extra time in the car, right? And I got here, and I wasn't sure how people were going to react to, the National Championship guys showing up in the Western Championship. Everybody welcomed me with open arms. They said, you know what? We'd like to really know, how do we stack up against the national guys? We know where you're at in the National Championship. Let's see how you do here. This is going to be fun. And what I found out is there are some incredibly good drivers here with some incredibly good prepared cars. Right? These are fantastic race car drivers. Most of them are over on the West Coast just because their schedule and their work doesn't allow them to do the whole national series. But what I came over is I found a whole lot of competition on some really, really cool, iconic tracks in the West Coast. It's been growth for me, and getting to know the guys here. Right? Everybody is friendly. They're excited I'm here. I'm excited they're here. And I love the fact that Trans Am has the opportunity, for people on the West Coast to have a full championship and make it work.
Yeah, and I love the camaraderie here with the Western Championship, but then also the seat time. So I know you're working with Scott, your instructor at all the events, but the seat time that you've gotten is what's putting you qualifying third at Mid-Ohio, and you are really moving up, and I've seen Barry Bose just get so much better year after year, and I think a lot of that would just be attributed to just more and more seat time.
A lot of that is seat time. My team is incredibly important too, right? Tristan McKee and I get along really well together. We push each other. Funny to say when he's so much better than I am, right? But still, we push each other and we get better together. But the seat time is big, and in the Western Championship, a lot of these races are double headers. It's less expensive to do more races when you come do 2 races in a weekend. And when we're going to come over here, that's also true. So I really love. Now, last year, I had hopes for winning the Western Championship. And then on a Saturday at Sonoma, I had to blow up, put the car on the wall, and I had to miss a Saturday and Sunday race. That's the disadvantage of a doubleheader, right? But you get a lot more racing time, and I really love that about the West Coast Championship, right? If I could do a few races, I'd do the West Coast races because you're going to get a lot more quality race time here.
Love that. Well, Barry Bose currently second in points in our Western Championship in the Cube 3 TA2 Series. Thank you so much for filling us in on the Western Championship.
Thank you.
Architecture is about everything. We change the environment. We are changing how people live in the environment today. So we basically put our fingerprint on the future of what the United States looks like. My overall business philosophy is that I'm engaged with my company from top to bottom, and I think the racing world and helping out the next generation and younger drivers is a passion of mine, and is getting stronger and stronger every year. With that, that's why I want to be involved.
All right, here we go. Final race of the day here on this Saturday at Portland International Raceway. And Ben, a lot of people are probably thinking that car right there, that Corvette turning in to the Shelton chicane would be my favorite car of the weekend here. And I will tell you, for a while, it was. When I first got here and walked into the paddock, I'm like, oh, baby, that's sweet. And yep, I zeroed right in on that. However, I walked a little further through the paddock and came across something a little bit different. I haven't seen it just yet.
Yeah, I don't see him out there. I think it's the Ken Garcho Chevrolet Camaro, but I'm not seeing him out there.
Yeah.
And I want everybody to see it. It's beautiful.
It is stunning.
So we've got Dominic Martinelich in a Chevrolet Corvette, Sean Berardi, Chris Pauling, Ernie Spada, who provided us all. And thank you, Ernie Spada, so much, and for the whole family for bringing us these strawberry shortcake picked fresh from the fields. It was beautiful. That was Ernie, yeah. And then Steve Goldman, Matt Crandall, Mick Millsap, Mark Berardi, Jim Frula is out there in a BMW E30 M3. Steve Walker is in my favorite car, the Luigi BMW CSL. I didn't see it either. Roger Eagle is in a Porsche 930, the Interscope car. James Buskirk in a Chevrolet Corvette. B. Michael Smith in a Ford Mustang. Ron Miska in a Ford Thunderbird. Christian Monk in a Ford Mustang. John Weirick in a Ford Gas. Mark Adams in an XK. And then Gunter Pitchler in a Jaguar E-Type. Jeff Taylor.
All right, here we go. And, Ben, your Beamer and my Camaro are not out there.
But Paul Menard's car's out there.
Yeah, Paul Menard's car is there, but we're going to have to wait till tomorrow. So my new favorite car is now the Corvette, because it is out there.
The lead Corvette or the Group 6 Corvette?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll take them both.
There it is. We've got a Jerry Titus Tribute Trans Am car out there. Berardi now right behind Dominic.
James Buskirk in car number 71, a Class 6 Corvette. Blue and white. Really pretty car.
This lead car is actually last year's Western Champion TA car.
Yeah, it's stout, isn't it?
Yeah, it used to belong to Steve Goldman, but now Steve Goldman is out there in this group in a Chevrolet Camaro.
I didn't get a chance to visit with Ernie. He's got 3 of those Torno liveried Porsches here, all with the Brune logo. I mean, it looks just like the 956 Bruno or Brune GTP machines. What is his association or fascination with Brune? Do you know?
I don't know. We need to find that out.
We'll have to check with him in the morning.
Maybe our commenters.
Yeah, maybe somebody out there knows for us.
Falls back to Millsap. Mick Millsap started 8th. Has moved up in that Dodge stock car. 10.
Yeah, it's kind of a camo colored car, isn't it? Right there.
The sneak attacks. Now, Berardi raced in the Q3 Architecture TA2 series with us last year.
Yeah.
And this year he's been running in Group 10 with us. There's a Corvette.
Yeah, C8.
That's Millsap, Nick Millsap. Hopefully not Ronnie Millsap out there. Kind of a Joe Nemechek Army car out there.
Yeah.
So I texted my friend Jesse Pinnell, the United Salad Company. That's Spada's company, these two Porsches here.
Yes.
We appreciate them making us the whole paddock. Anybody that was here in the paddock, including spectators, fresh strawberry shortcakes.
And it wasn't just a little one. I mean, they gave you...
It would have been a $12 to $16 strawberry shortcake from a food truck.
Absolutely, and it falls in the category of don't tell mom, because it was nowhere near being anything on the diet plan, right?
Yeah. Okay, we've got a pass there over Berardi. That other, it looks like that Ford gas car or the Camaro.
Those Brune 911s.
Is Paul maybe? I think so. In a Chevrolet Camaro, white, blue, and black. Yeah. There he is.
But you were talking about the Orica. If I had a chance to call any of the races with that car back in the era, I did get to call a Daytona 24-hour when the Brune Torno 956-62 came over to the U.S. to run at Daytona for the 24 hours. Remember seeing the car? Really cool livery.
There's our Dick Trickle car, Mark Martin car. The Dick Trickle car used to belong to the driver of the Mark Martin car, which is so funny.
Yeah.
And we've seen them on track the whole time. Then there is Goldman, Steve Goldman, last year's TA champion, in that number 86 Chevrolet Camaro with Kahlberg. I see a
yellow.
There, yeah.
Full course.
Ooh, I don't know though, Ralph. Look at these two E-Type Jaguars.
Yeah, they're pretty
down.
cool. And you get your pick as to whether or not you want the Roadster or the Coupe, right? So which one would you do?
I got to go with the Roadster. They had the 2+2, the big bubble tops, but the car that infuriated Enzo Ferrari because he thought it was a car more beautiful than his Ferraris. Oh, and we just had a pass under double yellow. So, Gunther Pitchler is going to have to give that one back.
I would say rest easy, Enzo. There's nothing prettier than a 250 GTO.
Well, they're saying it might be a local, but we've got safety cars out there. But yeah, you're right. It might be a local.
Oh, there it is. It's the Mustang, number 17. This belongs to E. Michael Smith.
That's the Jerry Titus car. So the safety car is standing up, so it is going to be a full course caution, but I don't think it was a full course caution.
When the pass was made?
Yeah. So that's Gunther Pitchler in the blue E-Type. Mark Adams in the red E-Type. But we got to show Jeff Taylor in that Studebaker coming up. There's a white Studebaker there in front of the orange Corvette, and can the camera operator zoom into the name above the door? Because he's got a really funny name on this white Studebaker.
There
I'm
he
just going to
is.
put the challenge to our camera operators, and I forget the name that he went under, but it's like something like Rex a lot or something. It's just really funny, like Rex.
Yeah.
And so I don't remember. So hopefully our comment section, but I need to find that out because I just thought it was really funny.
That's great. I did see one of the trailers in the paddock. I believe it's the trailer for the Paul Menard car. And on the side, at the back of the trailer, it says, "Herein lies something that there is no known cure for." And I thought, boy, is that ever true.
Yeah. And not only that, but it keeps people from breaking into your trailer.
Yeah, got to get them wondering what that could be going down the road if they don't recognize it as a car hauler.
Groom's Guitars, a very famous guitar store in Nashville where I live. They used to deliver their guitars in a van that said exotic snakes. So nobody would ever break into their van.
Good idea.
Like exotic venomous snakes.
Yeah.
See this purple Mustang here?
Yeah.
That's cool. Here comes that Studebaker. Now, we haven't seen a Studebaker on track yet this year.
First one of the year, right?
I'm going to find that out then because I just have always found that very funny. That's a Studebaker Daytona of Jeff Taylor in a Group 6 BP. There's Paul Menard. He's going through oil dry. That isn't smoke coming out. We are still under full course caution. So far, that Honda Civic of Bob and Becky Pengraff have won 2 of the 3 races we've called.
Yeah. Having a good weekend. Can't quite see Mount Hood off in the distance, can you? There
Look
it
at
is.
that, ladies and gentlemen. Mount Hood. That is cool. And then you can also, it's probably not clear enough today, but you can see Mount St. Helens from here. But that's Mount Hood, what kind of Portland is known for. Look at that.
Get rid of those clouds in the middle there. You can see it very well. You know, Ben, I didn't, to be honest, know much about the Studebaker Daytona, so I just did a little research on it. It was originally a Studebaker Lark.
Okay.
And then the car was built from 62 to 66, and then it was a little bit of redesign, re-emerged, relaunched, and when it came back out, they named it as the Daytona, and it actually served a Studebaker Daytona, of all things, served as a pace car for the 1962 Indy 500. It's nothing like a Daytona pacing Indy.
Yeah. Now this Mustang here is being black flagged for passing 2 cars on the caution lap down the front straight, right in front of our race director. So it's being black flagged, but it's trying to go to the back of the field, and hopefully we'll forget about it, but I don't think so. Safety car is coming in, lights off. We're going to start this thing back up with about 9 minutes to go.
All right, so final nugget on the Studebaker Daytona. It paced the 62 Indy 500, but in the 1959 Daytona 500, there was a Studebaker Lark that was entered, and with its 259 cubic inch V8, driven by Harold Smith, it started 50th in a field of 59 and finished 31st, completing 159 of the 200 scheduled laps. So, kind of interesting.
That is very interesting. So that's Christian Monk there in that Ford Mustang, labeled as lavender and black.
Oh, yeah. Sure did. Big time. And then he jumps on the binders. Looks like he's giving the spots back.
Yeah. Yeah, he knew what he did. That's smart, though, because he would have been black flag. That would be the end of his race. Dominic out front. Got these big high horsepower stock cars. And then you got the Porsche Cup car there. Woo! Berardi trying to get that thing to rotate. So that's Ernie Spada. And the Porsche.
Oh, smoking it up, going into 11 and 12 offline. Stay off the tires. No. Oh, that's a shame.
That was not a hard hit.
No.
He did everything he could.
You just hate to see it, right?
I'm not sure what the flagger was waving there.
I don't know.
Was it a blue flag? Couldn't really tell, but he was angrily waving a flag, but nobody was near him.
I think Ernie would be in an area where we might want to get him out of there too.
I think I'm hearing that we're going to have to check her the next time by because of the impact at turn 12.
Yeah.
So, Dominic, can you stay ahead of Millsap and Pauling? Can Millsap be all that he can be in that camouflage? Is that a Dodge?
Yeah, I believe it is.
That is a Dodge stock car. So they're saying the car is in pit lane, so they may not have to checker flag.
Keep going then.
Come on. Oh, but I see the checker flag in the starter's hands. Yeah.
Yep, there it is. Corvette gets a win. The Dodge finishes second. Looks like Ernie's team car is going to finish about 5th or 6th.
Yeah, but watch this. Here we go. Goldman. Did Goldman get it? I think he did. Yeah, Goldman out dragged the Interscope car of Eagle there to just get one more place. Let's see what Dick Trickle and Mark Martin can do here.
And it's going to be the 75 over the 6. And the Studebaker Daytona crosses the line.
Nice. I like that car.
That's cool.
Yeah. Ron Miska in the Dick Trickle car. Steve Beck in the Mark Martin car.
Ben will be back tomorrow, noon Pacific, 3 o'clock Eastern, as we kick off our coverage of day 2 here. Here's a look at our results. Groups 6, 10, and 12. We'll see them again tomorrow, and hopefully your Beamer and my Camaro.
Hopefully, yeah. Jeff Taylor in that Studebaker Daytona, and I will try to figure out the name that he wrote on the car.
And I'll try to find out why they're so impassioned with the Broom racing team. All right, we're going to take a quick break, but we're going to come back. We'll have podium celebration from here at Portland International Raceway after these words. Stay with us.
In racing, every second counts. Communication isn't just important, it's everything. Established in 1996 in Daytona Beach, Florida, SpeedCom Communications was born from a passion for racing and a vision to revolutionize motorsports communication. Trusted by competitors across the world.
Okay, so pretend this is your race car. It's on the trailer, and you have an accident. Ouch! At least your truck's insurance will pay for another one? Yeah, not so fast. Standard insurance won't replace your race car, whether it's in the trailer, in the paddock, in the garage, or the repair shop. But at Hagerty, we can protect it for what it's really worth anytime it's off the track. No matter what or where you race, offer less than a set of race tires. Hagerty, let's drive together.
Is this? Look at this view from Losowski.
It brings all my fans, it brings the audience into the car with me.
Speed turn 140 mile an hour entry speeds.
The quickest and most efficient way for me to get information to my drivers is from using the VBox HD2 system.
And get ready for race day with Mission Foods. The world's best racers and tastiest products come together to make every race delicious. Fully loaded tacos, fast wraps, piled high nachos. Whatever you crave, Mission will help you be race ready with easy to make recipes that will take your race day to the finish line. Keep your racing delicious and enjoy all the mouth-watering action. Brought to you by Mission Foods. Too fast, too tasty.
Yes. Hon, the WeatherTech's here.
WeatherTech is the ultimate protection for your vehicle. Laser measured floor liners, no drill mud flaps, cargo liner, bump step, seat protector, and cup phone.
What about my car?
WeatherTech.
Hawk Performance packs 100 years of friction dynamics into every product. Backed by Carlisle Brake and Friction, the world's premier innovator of industrial brake and friction components, Hawk leverages R&D tools and motorsports experience to deliver uncompromising performance on the street. There's no reason to settle for less. Choose pads that are race-proven and street-legal. Find the Hawk Performance brake dealer near you at hawkperformance.com.
What does it mean to be built with Summit? It means you're hitting the autocross, drag strip, road course, trail, dirt, or open road with confidence. Because built with Summit means you're using parts from the top names in performance, priced to make your project affordable. And it's all backed by trusted tech expertise and blazing fast shipping. Summit Racing Equipment. Let's build it together. SummitRacing.com.
How good is this? Look at this view from Losowski.
It brings all my fans, it brings the audience into the car with me.
Speed turn, 140 mile an hour entry speeds.
The quickest and most efficient way for me to get information to my drivers is from using the VBox HD2 system.
Said.
One of the ways you overtake here at Sebring is really good in the braking zone, like this one right here.
Both go around. There's the green. We are back and at it. Watch this. Oh, Lagarde, Miller, Lagarde.
Well, with Mount Hood off in the distance, we are ready to wrap things up from here at Portland International Raceway from this very nice Saturday afternoon of racing. We will be back tomorrow at noon Pacific time, 3 o'clock East Coast, for another great day of racing here at Portland International Raceway. We'll be kicking things off with our live coverage of the Trans Am Western Championship presented by Pirelli, Cube 3 Architecture TA2 Series. And, of course, we will have great SVRA racing for you tomorrow as well throughout the afternoon. So we hope to have you join us then. For now, for Andy Lally and Ben Sissel, who joined me on the broadcast today, I'm Ralph Shaheen. So long from Portland. We'll see you tomorrow.